What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to TTB Ravens Media. Thursday night football, prime time, Ravens football. We are back. We're also debuting a brand new helmet. I believe the uniform is the same as the Color Rush uniform was. I could be mistaken, but I think it's the same uniform. New helmet, purple rising tonight against Cincinnati Bengals. I think just to start it off, Joshua, these new helmets. We've now seen the up-close pictures. We've seen the, stylistic pictures. I think I used one in the thumbnail, say flowers, them in the back room trying to get the cool photos. What are your thoughts on these Purple Rising uniforms?
Man, I definitely feel like they're cool uniforms. I never forget the episode a while back. I don't know if we was live streaming it or we recorded it, but we kind of talked about different type of jersey combination that we wanted. I think we was really big on the gray metallic ones. That would have been a sick colorway. But I mean, seeing them doing the purple rush, the purple rising, it's a beautiful thing. I really like it. I feel like we're gonna get out there, and also shout out to the field work that they put on, that they did too, because the field work is looking pretty damn good for tonight as well. So I mean, I'm loving the jersey colors. I would take that over the mustard pants any day. So no, it looks good. I feel like they're gonna play good. It is even though I'm a big fan of the black, especially against the AFC North rivalry team, but I feel like this purple rising is going to look good on the guys. What's your thoughts on it, man?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, thanks so much, Barthangelite. Okay. I go back to my kindergarten reading skills right there. Barthangelite, thanks so much for the super chat. I'm with you. Let's go. Initially when I saw the jerseys, wasn't a big fan. However, they have grown on me a little bit. One thing that I've seen a lot of people saying is with the helmets, like I like the purple helmet. I think that part looks cool. I like the gold face mask with the Ravens. This is the gold uniform, but the gold here, right? I like that. The logo that they decided to use, like, why couldn't we get this? Why couldn't we get that on the helmet? Why couldn't we get
that would have been sick.
The B, right? The B that we see in the, I don't know if I have a Ravens logo around me. Oh, there we go. Poker chip. The B we see in there. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like it could have popped a little bit more, but at the same time, like it is a unique logo. It's something that we don't really see out of the Ravens is that logo. So, I like, looking on field in person. I just saw Jack Settleman. He posted a video. He probably posted it from someone else, but video Marlin on the sideline. And like the uniforms, they look clean, especially because, at least Marlin is, I assume the rest of the team, the accessories are gold. I wasn't really aware that might be the plan. I really like the gold accessories with it all. I think it pops a little bit more. But again, I think that I remember that episode too, Joshua, when we were talking uniforms and like the metallic or getting some white involved or really like some throwback, because the Ravens original uniforms are like chaotic greatness. I would describe them as, because they like simultaneously look like the ugliest uniforms you could imagine, but also it's like, dang, if we rocked those like once a year, reminds me of like the Bumblebee Steeler uniforms. Like
I would take that
super ugly, but like
I would take that over those. I would take that over theirs. The Browns. I mean, man, listen. Maybe somebody that probably have OG cool jersey and they're inside the division. In my opinion, it might be the Bengals. I'm gonna go with the Eagles with the almost with that lime greenish jersey.
Yeah, the Kelly Greens. Those are nice.
And we got to take it way back with the LT days with the Chargers, and even the powder blue. They was tough as well.
So, I'm happy. I'll bring up the Buccaneers brought back the creamsicle jerseys. Big fan of the creamsicles.
Yeah.
I'm just glad we got some diversity, at least in our uniform. Like, we rocked the same uniforms outside of, what was that, 2016 getting the color rushes, and we've worn them like 4 times. Like, the Ravens wear the same uniforms every game. Like, most of their combinations are bad. Let's be honest.
I think I'm the most upset that, yes, I understand the whole NFL was sponsored by Nike, but literally let the team from the state of Maryland be sponsored by the arguably one of the best and strongest brands in America, Under Armour. I feel like Under Armour could have had a crazy colorway for the Baltimore Ravens, and they just allowed it to happen. But I don't get it, man.
Yeah, I think the NFL. I understand why they do the exclusive rights, right? Like Nike paid them $150 trillion or whatever they paid. But it is cool in college getting to see, the Jordan schools, the Oregon, the Ducks, obviously they're a Nike school and they have their uniforms, like the Under Armour schools. It's really cool to be able to see all that. I want to say Michigan is a Jordan school.
Yeah, Michigan, Jordan.
Like UNC's obviously a Jordan school, but like it's just really cool to see the diversity of like what they try to do with their uniforms, because at this point, like the NBA is now Nike, and I'm gonna be frank, the NBA jerseys suck. Like every year, some team is like, all right, we're rebranding, and it's like the most recent one was like the Utah Jazz, and like they changed their uniforms and they're just like an all black uniform with like yellow text, and you're like, wait. What happened to the old jersey? They had great jerseys.
I was about to say the play-in tournament, that court maybe was one of the best courts though.
It's like the NBA's made like every jersey suck, but then gone like super crazy for like the city editions for like the in-season tournament. It's like, why don't we have the cool uniforms like most of the time, and then wear like some crappy jersey for the in-season tournament or something?
I don't know, brother.
But outside of the uniforms, this is obviously a huge matchup. Bengals in primetime has been, honestly, I would say a staple the last 5 years, it feels like, whether it's playoff games or I probably shouldn't have brought that up, but or just Thursday night football games. Seems like the Ravens are always finding a good matchup against the Bengals because the league wants to see it. Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, Jamar Chase, Marlon Humphrey, now Derrick Henry. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch. Are you feeling, better coming into this game? Because last time we played them, right, it was 500 yards for the Ravens and like 480 for the Bengals. Are you feeling better going into this game than you were a couple weeks ago looking forward to this matchup? Or are you still a little nervous or anything like that?
Man, honestly, right now, okay, so let me say this. When we played against the Browns, I had no expectation. And what I mean by that, I understand what the Ravens do against any AFC North team. They can either play to the level of the competition or they rise above to the level of the competition. And it clearly showed when they played against the Browns, and then the following week when they played against the Broncos and blew them out the water. I'm not saying that it's going to be another type of game against the Browns when they play against the Bengals tonight. What I'm saying is, yes, we are under the lights. Yes, we can get the running game going. The defense has been a little shaky, but they have moments where they tighten up the reins, which is a beautiful thing. But at the same time, it's like, you know what? They got Joe Burrow on their side. They got Jamar Chase on their side. I respect them guys. I don't like them, but they got a little bit of respect for me. I know what my team is capable of. I know what my team can do, but it really depends on which team shows up tonight. So I want to say I'm nervous. I want to say that, I feel comfortable. I feel all this great confidence. I'm expecting a great game. I'm expecting these guys to go out there and fight hard. I know Lamar was a little beat up and banged up. It's getting around that time. It's November. Some of your key players that's what's going to happen. But I'm expecting them to play a more complete game under the lights at home and truly show out. I am expecting Zach Orr and company to have a better, defensive calling game in regards of alignment, in regards of personnel being in the correct position. And I believe that this is going to be a hard-fought game. So the expectations are none right now. I'm just want them to go out there and play Ravens football.
Yeah, and when you look at the players available in this game, I think it would favor the Baltimore Ravens with the injuries. You never want to face a team when they're not at their best, but we have to take account. Orlando Brown Jr. is out, as well as T. Higgins. Those are two crucial losses for the Bengals. The Ravens, on the other hand, they're getting back Keaton Mitchell, right? They're, they now have Marlon. He's been back for a week at least. So hopefully they're playing at full strength. And, defensively, I think last week, I'm really hoping at least was a big kind of step in the right direction because the Broncos offense had been pretty good this year. They weren't amazing. Again, like they aren't one of the best offenses in the league, but they were a team that was performing well and putting up points to go along with a very good defense. And the Ravens offense against Bo Nix and against Cortland Sutton did a much better job than I think I was anticipating, especially against Cortland Sutton, because how the Ravens had been losing games was these contested catches. So hopefully Marlon Humphrey and whoever the heck we have putting over top with Jamar Chase is making sure that they don't get those, just one-on-one situations deep down the field, because that's where the Ravens are struggling. They got to put help out there. I'd much rather see Joe Burrow have a 12-play drive than, oh, look at that, we didn't put someone over the top like at the end of the first half and the first time we played them, and Jamar Chase just walks in for an easy touchdown. Like, come on. Defense has to play how Zach Rior is telling them. That's the other thing. I think execution defensively has been poor. I don't think Zach Rior has been doing a bad job these last few weeks. It's just been guys are messing up. If the Ravens don't mess up on defense, I think they can be very good. And that, I think, starts with number 14. He's been phenomenal for most of the year, but prime time has typically been when Kyle Hamilton plays at his best.
Another guy that we got to mention that plays pretty well in prime time that's kind of been quiet for the past couple of weeks is Adafio Way. I believe he's at 4 or 5 sacks of the season. I know he wanted to be a 10. I mean, he was the one that talked about being a 10-sack guy. Correct me if I'm wrong, McConnell. But I mean, this will be a great breakout game, especially with Orlando Brown Jr. not being out there on the field. I know Zachary Orr and the defense love to line the guys up in different positions. I mean, being able to see him, get out there, get after it, and truly, chase down Joe Burrow, give him hell, be in the backfield, because their running back, what's his last name, Brown, he's pretty decent. I'll give him his respect. But we need our defensive ends to get that rush. So I know a lot of guys were pretty much in questioning about us adding a pass rusher before that trade deadline, which is understandable, which is something I get. I wasn't too keen on the Tre'Davious White move, but maybe this will lead to Marlon Humphrey seeing some safety this year. Who knows? I mean, I feel like he has got that veteran leadership. He has earned that spot to be put in that type of position. But I definitely want to see our front seven really get after Joe Burrow, cause a lot of havoc, collapse the pocket, get the sacks, and be able to to make his night unbearable, because I can't take nothing away from Joe Burrow. He is a up and rising game manager. He's pretty good. He's a good thrower of the ball. He can manage his team, and he has a will to win. But our defense, when clicking on all cylinders, we can stop anybody. And I'll take anybody. I'll take that bet with anybody that my defense can go out there and stop anybody on any Sunday or Thursday, Monday night, whatever the case it may be, when we all clicking on all cylinders.
Yeah, I agree. I think when you look at the talent we have on defense, I think we know it, and I think they know it. Like, the expectation and what they should be doing is they should be playing better. And I think the veterans have talked about that. Roquan, Marlon, even Kyle Hamilton, to some extent, just like, hey, we know we're not playing our best football, but at the same time, we're going to go out there, we're going to do our best to make sure that we play our best game next time, right? They're not hanging their head. They're not looking back saying, oh man, if we did better that week, that's not the issue, right? Focus on the next game, focus on what you can control. And if the Ravens do that, they can have a good defense. They just need to make sure that throughout the week, I think Zachary Orr, he might need to make it a little bit less complex just to get the gears circling, the gears moving. But defensively, now you're going against a team that has one of the best number one wide receivers in the league, a good run game, and a very good quarterback, but not a mobile quarterback. Joe Burrow's a tough quarterback to sack. He's like nimble in the pocket, but he's not going to scramble on you, right? You're not going against Jaden Daniels. You're not going against, obviously Lamar, Jalen Hurts. You're not going Daniel Jones even. Like, you're not going against these like running quarterbacks. You're going against the guy that wants to sit in the pocket and dice you up. Make sure that first read isn't available, and hopefully the pressure gets through. Like, we got to stop blaming cornerbacks when it takes them 7 seconds to throw, and then the guy's open. Like, that's not the corner's fault. The corner should cover. If it's the first or second read, then hopefully they're there. But guys like Nate Wiggins, you can't expect a rookie corner to cover a guy for 10 seconds. And hopefully, I'm rooting for my guy. I've actually got a nickname for this guy. I don't know if I've said it on stream. I call him the Abominable Snowman. This guy's name is Tavius Robinson. If you guys don't know, last year in Madden, Tavius Robinson was white. They did not have the proper player model. And so when I was playing it, I always subbed him in and I called him the Abominable Snowman just because I was like, this guy's like clearly not a white guy. But player model, everything about him's like super white. And so that's what I call him. And so like now my buddies will like see him make a play and they're like, oh my God, is that the Abominable Snowman? I'm like, yes, it is. So I'm hoping Tavius Robinson, after a 2-sack game, has some momentum and is able to kind of get things going because, coming out of Ole Miss, he was a 5th-round pick. He was a run-stuffing player that could play across the defensive front, which we've seen. He's played inside, he's played outside. But if he's starting to get that pass rush down, that was the thing he needed to develop. So from what I've seen out of him, I think he's deserved some snaps tonight, opposite Odafe away. And because Kyle Van Noy, he hasn't been playing bad, but he hasn't been getting the sacks and the production that we'd like to see out of him.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, even though we brought Yannick Ngakoue, I know we wasn't like expecting him to make a big old splash, but we were expecting him, get up the field, get the pressure, which he has. He just hasn't racked, the sacks as he should. I mean, and those things are going to come. Those things are going to come. I mean, it just comes down to, the will, the skill, the style of play. And I feel like, as far as that front seven, they have been put in a position to win. Now, when it comes to, the linebacker play, I'm not taking nothing away from, the captain, Uncle Rowe. He's been misplaced. He's being misused. In my opinion, he's a great, open area tackler. He can get in between the guards, fight them off, and one of the hardest hitting linebackers outside of Fred Warner in the league right now, and maybe even Jermaine Pratt. I'll put him in that type of route. But putting him like in certain scenarios where he has to cover tight ends, and that's not his strong suit. We gotta put him in spaces to win. And right now, we got him out there looking crazy right now. I mean, shout out to him in his pregame wear. He like a big time ball. He like a big time player in the field. I saw what he had dressed on with the fur and the shoes, and So I mean, when you see you guys actually in a position to win, they play better. And right now, I feel like all of our guys are kind of in positions where they're not playing to their full potential. I know David Ojabo, I think he's out for tonight. We need to see someone else, be on that outside, on that opposite side of Odafe way, get into the backfield, having that party in the backfield. Second the QB. I mean, it's just part of the game. It's about having fun. I mean, I see Brandon Stevens getting picked on almost every game, and I'm like, yo, Tre'Davious White wasn't the answer. I mean, I'm not trying to pick on no ball skills or nothing like that, but when you got chinks in your armor, you got to tighten it up, and I don't feel like that was the way to tighten it up. Oh, Ojabo is active. JJ, appreciate you for letting me know. Okay, so hopefully, we can see some play out of him tonight, because I mean, when those two are out there together, I ain't gonna say it's hit or miss with him and Odafe, but it seems like when you got your running mate, your best friend, whoever out there, playing along with you, you sometimes play better. So I would love to see better level of production, out of my guys on that front end. Justin Madubuike, I'm not going to say because he got the contract, he's been quiet. People been targeting him. He's been gaining that pressure and attention where, 3 interior linemen are going to block him and guard him. Has he been able to put a pressure on QBs? Yes, but not in the form and fashion that he did last year. So, this is the time where, the team starts picking up steam. And tonight needs to be the game where this defensive team needs to pick up the steam, because you got the front seven sometimes looking a little scary. You got the secondary having us nervous and worried between Eddie Jackson, Marcus Williams, Brandon Stevens. I mean, when we saw Marlon Humphrey get the 2 interceptions, I don't know about you, McConnell, but damn, I don't even remember him doing that in his first 3 seasons, his young years of getting interceptions. It's like, whoa, you rewinded back time. It was good to see that, because there's been so many opportunities where we were supposed to get the ball back or get the interception and we dropped it. I mean, shout out to Kyle Hamilton. I know he's going to want to have a comeback game in a sense, because he dropped that, that game winning interception against Cleveland, but he on his young boy demon time right now. So I know he's going to ball out crazy. I love seeing Nate Wiggins out there. Hopefully we can see TJ Tampa on the field eventually. We got guys in the stable. We just got to let them loose. Gotta let the guys play and finally get their opportunity and get their chance. And right now, I feel like this is the best opportunity and chance to see these guys out there ball out, really show what they're made of. And these are the type of games that make them a Raven.
It's simply the Ravens have to go out there and play Ravens football. I think that defensively, offensively, they've been doing a fantastic job. I can't even comment on that. They've been doing so well. Get back to the physicality, right? Roquan Smith, these last couple of years, has been much more aggressive in the big hits, in the, hey, someone's in the pile. Like, remember, I think it was last year, everyone was the Bengals players were trying to fight Roquan because they were so pissed because he was hitting guys. Like, I want to bring that Roquan back. I want to see him get aggressive. I think this whole team has just kind of been laying off on these tackles. I think defensively, one of the ways in just like trying to assert yourself is make them not want to go over the middle, right? Get those big hits. And Kyle's been trying to get big hits, and he's done a very good job at that. I want to see some more from Roquan Smith. I want to see some more attempts from guys like Marlon Humphrey. Marlon Humphrey used to be a big hitter, and he's not really trying to do it anymore. So that's something I think we could potentially improve on. But the biggest thing I think defensively in this game, if I'm looking at like, okay, how did the Ravens do? Find out how well Mike Gesicki did. With no T. Higgins, right? The number 1 and number 2 wide receivers are obviously Jamar Chase, number 1. We know he's going to, like, Jamar Chase is very good. He's probably going to do well. Andre Yosivas is the number 2, a guy I really like coming out of Princeton. And he's a good player. I don't want to take anything away. But Joe Burrow's second option tonight is going to be Mike Gesicki, who has been someone that has played very well against the Ravens. Whether he was in Miami, I think we played against him when he was on the Patriots, and he did well. And then that first game, it's just like, okay, stop allowing these over-the-middle passes to the tight ends, because that's been kind of critical in what's killed this Ravens defense is quarterbacks are able to check it to their tight end, whether it's Cade Otton, whether it's Travis Kelce, whether it's trying to think of other tight ends that had big games against us. There's just, I think Mike Gesicki had a good game the first time the Ravens played against him. David Njoku for the Browns, and these are good players I'm naming, but like, the consistency teams are able to just get chunk plays from dumping it to their tight end is borderline inexcusable for the Ravens defense. So that's kind of the biggest key I have is play over the top and don't allow the tight end to kill you. If you check it down to the running back, that's fine. I believe in our tackling. The issue is when you check it down to the tight end 5-6 yards out over the middle and there's no one there, that's when we start to have issues.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's crazy that we've been on a defensive rant. I mean, and we haven't talked about offense. I guess that's saying something. That's saying something. I think we pretty much confident in our offensive scheme. Shout out to Todd Monken in year 2. I mean, he's taking great leaps. I can't take that away from him. And I mean, outside, outside maybe like 2 or 3 games this year. He's done okay. He's done pretty damn good with the play calling. I mean, and I gotta give a big shout out to Lamar, Naeem to be on his case. I mean, if he's truly been doing a lot of the play calling and making a lot of decisions as well. Oh man, DJ, I'm scared to know what efficient in crew that we got tonight. But
we have the one that throws the most flags in the league.
Whew, okay. Then yeah.
Ronnie, line up properly, Ronnie. Come on. don't have that issue.
Don't be in the backfield, lineman. Don't be in the backfield, please, please, please. But shout out to the level of leadership out of Lamar Jackson as well. I mean, you love to see it. I think McConnell and I, we both been talking about it, how we both feel like he was kind of held back to a degree. Like, he maybe give 1 or 2 plays. And when you hear your quarterback saying they know what we're running, and you don't give your quarterback another play to check out. You see him more calm and poised with this offense, and I think I was a little upset. During that end of the Cleveland Browns game when I saw the angle of the camera that showed me how much open field that he had, and I understand that he's trying to be not trying. He is a thrower of the football. He is. But I mean, hey, when you have a super talent, a God-given ability where I feel like he could have closed the gap of getting there and maybe scoring himself, sometimes that separates you from the greats to the elites. And he's great. Lamar Jackson is great. He just got one more step to take in order to become part of that elite QB status, in my opinion. So the team all have a lot of work to do in every facet, even with the offensive line. I mean, shout out to the offensive line. They've been cleaning up. We see a little hiccups here and there, but for the most part, they've been getting it together. I don't think we're really seeing Voorhees back. I don't know if he's still injured because I'm seeing McCurry. He's out there.
He's healthy. I think they're just starting McCurry.
Okay, so they going with the chemistry type of thing right now. I assume, which is if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I'm not going to get in the way of that. So, but I mean, it's always things we can always fix in order to be ready, because these are the times where the games truly count, as far as playoffs and as far as that AFC Championship game. Because I think we make it back. McConnell. I just want us to play our style of Ravens football and not, this pity patter style when we get to, to the big dance.
Yeah, I think you brought up Lamar Jackson's running. I think teams are now in a situation where it used to be 2 things. You either stop Lamar running or you stop Lamar passing. And now it's 3 things. Derrick Henry running, Lamar Jackson running, Lamar Jackson passing. In these last couple of weeks, the focus has been stop Derrick Henry and Lamar, just stop the run. So they're spying and they're sending a lot of pressure to try and stop the run. And they've been relatively successful these last couple of weeks. Derrick Henry hasn't had those, 60-yard rushing touchdowns. But at the same time, that is what is allowing Zay Flowers, Rashad Bateman, Mark Andrews on these crossing routes and these, intermediate to deep, hybrid routes that are just dicing up defenses. That's why Zay Flowers leads the league in receiving since week 5. Everyone saw Derrick Henry was like, this guy's rushing for 200 yards a game. we got to focus on that now. And Lamar Jackson is just slinging the rock. And props to Lamar, props to the receivers. This week, I think Cincinnati, not just this year, over the last 3-4 years when they've played against Derrick Henry, they've probably been one of the best teams in the league at defending him. Derrick Henry has had his most struggles probably against Cincinnati because they just absolutely sell out. And they sold out the first time we played them. They came out there, like, first look that they showed was like a cover 0 look. And they were showing cover 0 all last time. Now, doesn't mean they called cover 0 every play, but they tried to show it. They wanted to get the Ravens to get out of running power football. And he only had about 40 yards rushing until we got to overtime, and he takes the pitch about 50 yards, ends up with the like 90 or so rushing yards. So like statistically good game, but I felt like the Bengals did a very good job against him. The problem was like they sold out too hard. And like Lamar Jackson threw for 350 and was thrown to all his guys. Now remember, one of the big players in that game was Isaiah Likely. We don't have him tonight. Charlie Kolar is going to have to step up. And, you know, we'll see how he does. The benefit is Charlie Kolar's best game of his career this year against the Bengals. Really, everyone's best game of their career is against the Bengals this year, for being honest, for a lot of these young players. I want to see the Ravens start off, like maybe not even trying to, like, I want to see first play the Ravens try and not take a, you know, deep shot 50 yards down the field, but an intermediate shot, right? Now, if the Bengals show 3 on the line, they show off, check to run, right? Call 2 plays in the huddle, Peyton Manning style. You know, you see, oh, look, good run look, you know, whatever you want to call it, kill. You want to do your Randy, which means run right. You know, if it's an L name, you means run left, whatever you want to do. Call that, check it down to a run. I want to see the Ravens try and take advantage early rather than having to wait like they did last time. They felt like they had to wait like a couple of drives before they started really recognizing how to beat this Bengals defense. Because I think the Bengals are going to try and stop the pass now. And if you start out passing, the Bengals might get a little worried, play a little off. That'll help Derrick Henry get a little bit more going. I'd like to see him hit 100 yards rushing today, but I'd like to see Lamar, you know, finding Zay over the middle, finding Mark Andrews, finding Kolar, and finding Deontay Johnson. I think that'll be a fun. I think this will be like Deontay Johnson gets real routes game rather than coming in on running plays.
Oh man, I'm trying to think.
JJ's question. What do you think, Joshua?
I think Deontay Johnson can low key be our San Antonio Holmes. I mean, he's savvy like him. You can line him up in the slot. You can line him up outside. I think he can be a big contributor. I'm not going to say he's an upgraded Nelly, but he is a better version of Nelly. He has better hands than Nelly. He does
I think I have better hands than Nelly, by the way.
Hey, you know? I feel like, you know, he definitely is more of a threat. He's definitely more of a threat piece out there. You know, shout out to the wide receiver core. I mean, for them to say, I know we've been saying it for years, that, you know, Rashad and Lamar Jackson don't have the chemistry or whatever the case may be. Now, when we're on the outside looking in, we don't see Rashad, you know, in none of the videos with Lamar. Clearly, some type of rapport, some type of chemistry has been worked on behind the scenes, because it is showing on the field. Granted, when they played against the Browns, the wide receiver core looked like the 2019 wide receiver core in that playoff game. I understand wholeheartedly, but y'all don't. If y'all ever play sports outside in the fall with the sun shining bright in your eyes, it ain't always that easy sometimes. I'm not trying to give them a pass, but just try to play sports when you got the fall sun shining in your eyes brightly as it did in Cleveland, Ohio. But I definitely feel like, you know, it's going to be interesting to see how the offense is being used. I definitely feel like we should start off with the pass to open up more for Derrick Henry. I mean, Derrick Henry is literally like a locomotive, a train. You get him started early, he can finish. He can finish the game for you. But as you get him started early so he can pick up steam, and when he does finally pick up steam, he's rolling over you. No Diddy. So I mean, I definitely feel like this could be a strong running attack. But I'm looking forward to see how, we're just balanced. I love the fact that we're becoming a more balanced breakfast on the offensive side of the ball. It really doesn't matter how we do it. It's just at this point, do it. Just do it in a style and fashion that's going to be believable, because I'm not expecting for the officiating crew to be on our side. I'm not expecting for, the people in New York to be on our side, the bookies, whoever. The Ravens got to go out there and play Ravens football in a way that, it is acceptable and convincible to America, to to whoever that watches football, because we don't get the type of help that every team get, and we definitely don't get the help that the team that's undefeated currently in the AFC. So if we want to get there, we gotta win it. We gotta win it in Ravens fashion and style, and that's hard. That's hard nosed smash mouth football. So run the football, running down their throat until they stop it. We got the wide receivers finally that we can go over top or go through the middle. I mean, the screen game has worked pretty damn good over the year. Defense just needing to continue working to tighten up. I want to see a big game out of Travis Jones. I love the fact that you brought up the Tavius Robinson, aka the Abominable Snowman. I mean, we always find gems that can truly be great to the team and also be a big contributor. So, what is this, year 2, year 3 for the young man? If he can continue year 2, if he can continue rising his stock and showing that he can be a big contributor on this defense side of the ball, I mean, hell, in the words of Roquan Smith, we're cooking with hot grease, McConnell.
Yeah, and we got about 8 minutes before this game starts, and obviously we don't want to get rid of the bold predictions, but before the bold predictions, Joshua, we talked about him last year. We were so excited to watch him last year, and when we finally saw him, oh my goodness, Keaton Mitchell was absolutely electric.
Yes, sir.
He is active tonight, potentially returning some kickoffs. What are you looking to see out of a guy coming off of a season-ending injury at running back, a position where Justice Hill and Derrick Henry have played better than any group in the NFL? How do you add an electric player like Keaton Mitchell back into this lineup without shaking things up?
Oh, man, I think it won't shake anything up. Honestly, I feel like they've been waiting for their brother to come out this gate and started running and really get back to, that old-fashioned style of playing, of how he plays. So, I mean, putting him in position for as special teams in order to contribute to this offensive side of the ball where we can have great placement, I think it's going to be very helpful. I mean, it's also going to help keep Justice Hill legs fresh if he's not out there. And I think it just gives him an opportunity just to get his feet wet and back on the field. So I'm looking forward to seeing him out there. I know we was all upset, when he went down, and we're even more excited to get him back on the field because he's going to be a great weapon for down the stretch when we truly need, our run game to truly take off. So I love the fact that he's out here. I'm glad that he, I'm glad that he, he's back on the active roster. I pray, and I'm knocking on wood, that he's fully recovered and he's not being rushed out there quicker than before. And he just had fun, enjoy the game, man, and let it all come to him. And he does his thing and have a great time.
Yeah, I want to get him a couple of touches in this game. And I'd like to see him maybe involved in a screen, but really what I want to see out of him is when he's on the field, don't make it obvious he's the only player that can get the ball in a run situation. Have him on the field with Justice Hill. Have him on the field with Derrick Henry. Maybe line him up. I could totally see this happen. You got Zay Flowers out wide and Keaton's in the slot. Derrick Henry in the pistol behind Lamar. Tight end on the right side. Motion across, fake a jet pass, or you can do the jet pass to him, and he gets outside, or, obviously Derrick Henry can, then take a handoff up the middle, get him in motion, get him on the field. You don't have to give him the ball every time, but, maybe a little bit less of the Zay Flowers jet sweeps and jet fakes. If that's Keaton Mitchell running that fake, I think it's doing a little bit more damage because he's even more electric, even though Zay Flowers is shiftier. Like, he's better with the ball in his hands in terms of, like, getting space. Keaton Mitchell is so fast. Do we remember that play that Zay Flowers scored. It might have been against the Bengals, if I'm being honest. But it ended up getting called back because Mark Andrews or someone was called for like a holding. But like Zay Flowers catches a screen and like starts running up the field. And like as he's running up the field, you see Keaton Mitchell come in like a bolt of lightning. It's just like lead blocks for him. You're like, where did that guy come from? Like that's how fast he is compared to Zay Flowers. This guy's electric. Get him on the field. I like him at kick return. I want to see him get a couple of touches and a couple of fake touches. Get him in the backfield and then just like have him pass block or have him be like a quick check down. But like, I think he scares defenses. I think teams recognize how. I mean, he probably scored every 5 touches his rookie year, and they were like, screen pass, 40-yard touchdown. Handoff, touchdown, handoff, touchdown, handoff. It was like, dude, this guy, what are you doing? Like, he's so good. But I think now it's time, Joshua. It's time for the bold predictions.
Yeah.
What do you got today for the defensive side of the ball for the bold prediction?
Man, okay. I'm going with 4 picks and 1 taken back to the crib.
Ooh. Anyone in particular getting a pick, like a first career pick or anything like that, or just 4 anyone's?
Nah, I mean, I want Nate to get one, but I low-key see Kyle Hamilton, jumping out the air, or maybe tip drilling it and taking it to the crib.
I like it. My defensive one is going to be, I think Roquan Smith gets an interception today.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
He's been getting slandered. Slandered means that you were lying, but he's been getting disrespected by a lot of people, including us, in terms of his pass coverage. I think he gets a big play in this game. I think he gets an interception, similar to how we got one against Patrick Mahomes in week 1. What about on offense?
Oh man, offense, man. Listen, I'm going back with the 350 to 400 passing yards. I feel like we go. I feel like for some reason, under the lights, Lamar Jackson shines. He throws the ball and he goes crazy. I go 350 to 400 passing yards with a Jackson 5.
Jackson 5 in primetime is maybe my favorite thing in sports I've seen in the last few years. That is so much fun to watch. My bold offensive prediction. First off, I'm going to start with the big man, 88, Charlie Kolar, touchdown against the Bengals, which would be 2 this year against the Bengals. But also, I think that we're going to get another Zay Flowers 100+ yard game. I think he's going to continue that awesome run that he's on right now. I think he has a big game today, and Charlie Kolar gets in for a touchdown.
I like that.
But man, we got about a minute, maybe 2 minutes till this game starts. Everyone, thank you all so much for watching. Subscribe for more. We're going to obviously do a post-game show. It won't be tonight. I'm only going to be able to watch the first half live. The second half, I think you can just play from beginning on Prime Video. I don't know exactly how it'll work, but I'll finish the game when I get back from practice tonight because I'm on the West Coast. So practice for me doesn't start for another 2 hours. But Josh, we got anything final to say to the people before we let them go?
Hey, man, listen, enjoy the game. Have fun, man. If you're outside watching the game, don't not get into no trouble. And whatever happens, man, happens, man. We're going to keep on rocking with the Ravens. We're going to keep on doing our thing. Thank y'all for always following us and subscribing to us, man. Big trust, man. Let's get this with W.
Yeah, hopefully next time we see you guys, Ravens are sitting at 7 wins.